In the new normal, the political contest has become more intense. We must work harder to translate programs and policies that benefit Singaporeans into messages that people will identify with and embrace. We must stand ready to face closer scrutiny, both in and out of Parliament. Where the criticisms are fair and the suggestions are constructive, we will take them in and improve our policies and our performance. But we should also defend vigorously what we believe in and stand for. Take the fight to the opposition and persuade Singaporeans of the best way forward. If we are not prepared to fight hard for what we believe in, people will soon sense it. All these years, people have been with us because they knew we had backbone. We will fight even with our backs to the wall, and we will never let them down. That's how we've been able to win support for our ideas and plans and show Singaporeans that we remain the best team to secure their future. You must have guts, you must have conviction, you must have that spunk and that fight. And you may feel desperate, your back may be to the wall, you believe in it, stand for it, fight for it, if need be, die for it. Now that the election is behind us, we must focus attention on the urgent priorities which prompted the election. First, to keep ourselves safe from the virus, and second, to get the economy back on track. This is what Singaporeans elected the PAP to do and what we will be judged by in the next election. We have to deliver competent government and ensure that the substance of our policies are right. But good policies must be accompanied by good politics. And especially in these tough times, the PAP must provide Singaporeans with strong political leadership. To imbue Singaporeans with determination and confidence, to put our people at the center of everything we do, listen to their aspirations and anxieties, and light a candle for them in this hour of darkness. We have to rally the nation together to overcome our most serious challenges since independence. Since COVID-19 first reached our shores in January, we have taken many drastic but essential steps which have saved the lives of many, many Singaporeans. After a tremendous effort and after many disruptions and sacrifices, we have finally got the situation under control, and we have been keeping the situation under the control for several months now. Now, our task is to keep the COVID-19 outbreak stable and get into a position where we can safely and confidently open up further. We can't simply relax the current restrictions and hope that COVID-19 cases will remain low. The more we open up and resume normal activities, the more likely it is that we will have new cases, including from overseas, either from visitors or returning Singaporeans. And therefore, we have to keep up and refine our safe distancing measures. And we also have to improve our processes and our safeguards to deal with the cases which pop up, to prevent isolated cases from becoming clusters and clusters from becoming a generalized outbreak. This is why we have been working hard to strengthen our testing and our contact tracing capabilities. For example, by deploying and developing rapid test kits, by expanding our safe entry and trace together programs, and distributing trace together tokens and the apps. These measures will help us to detect new cases early and prevent them from developing into new clusters. Then we will be able to progress into phase 3 without suffering a big second wave of infections and get back to a more normal life, or at least a new normal. We can then permit larger social gatherings, including bigger groups at weddings, and resume more international travel to strengthen and expand our business links in the first instance, and in time, also for family trips and leisure travel. Managing this, pulling this off, is a very, very delicate act. Many countries have tried to get it right, but failed. After getting their COVID numbers down, they opened up and relaxed, and their population relaxed with too few precautions. And the cases shot up again, and they have had to lock down severely a second time, sometimes a third time. But by then, people have become tired and cynical about the restrictions. They were less stoic, less forgiving of the measures, and more resentful of the authorities. Instead of solidarity and resilience, there was fractiousness and recriminations. People turned against their governments, blaming them for their bad outcomes, sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly. But they're angry, it didn't matter. This is happening in many European countries and in North America as well. And these countries are currently experiencing a huge second wave of COVID-19, much bigger than the first wave. So COVID-19 is not just a public health problem, it's also a political problem, because it takes political leadership to convince people that we need to keep the measures in place, especially when the case numbers are low. We still need the measures, because without the measures, your case numbers would not be low. The danger is not very far away and can hop in and pop up anytime. And we must show people, while we do all these things, that we care for them and we empathize with their difficulties. And we must maintain public trust in the government and its leaders, so that if we have to implement new measures or policies, people will accept them, cooperate with them, and give them a chance to work. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to survive this crisis without further mishap. Beyond public health, we also have to deal with the economic fallout of COVID-19. When we implemented the circuit breaker in April and May, the economy nosedived. Now, many sectors are gradually picking up again, but some are still in suspended animation: aviation, transport, tourism. And they're likely to remain in suspended animation for quite some time. Because with the US and Europe having major outbreaks ongoing, they are not going to open their borders. Furthermore, the outbreaks in Europe and America will affect their economies and will affect our export markets, and therefore we must expect the general economy. We hope it will remain stable, but I don't see it picking up in a very vibrant sort of way very soon. So managing this protracted economic downturn is another major political challenge, because some businesses will find they can't carry on without government support, and government support cannot last forever. Some workers will have to look for new jobs. Insecurity over livelihoods will stay high. The government cannot save every job or every business, but we will do our level best and go all the way to help every worker. In policy terms, we know what we need to do. We're helping workers and companies through the crisis. The schemes are there. We have the Job Support Scheme, the Jobs Growth Initiative, the Foreign Worker Levy rebates. More importantly, we must create more new jobs by revitalizing the economy. And that means helping companies transform themselves to find new markets and attracting new investments from existing as well as new companies, which will create new jobs. Besides having the right economic policies, we must also address people's concerns and anxieties. And one major worry is that COVID-19 will affect lower-income households and workers disproportionately. And this would undo the years of progress we have made, leveling up low-wage workers, building social cohesion and a sense of hope that in Singapore, you may start off poor, but if you work hard and do your best, you have a good chance of doing better in life. We must prevent low-income households from being disproportionately hit by COVID-19. And the government will pay special attention to these lower-income groups and to tackling inequality in our society. We will do this comprehensively, not through glib slogans or half-baked proposals, but with a full range of practical support measures. And we have them: the progressive wage model, workfare, silver support, CHAS, and there will be more, and we will develop new ways of achieving this objective. We will make sure that taken together, our schemes offer real, sustainable support to lower wage workers. This is fundamental to the PAP's raison d'etre. It's the purpose of our existence as a party. We began as a party of workers and unions, striving for the uplift of the people, for all the people, and especially of the vulnerable ones amongst us. Hence, we build a democratic society based on justice and equality. And we will always stay true to that purpose. A second worry that Singaporeans have, many Singaporeans have, is the competition from foreign work pass holders. I fully understand these pressures. They exist, and Singaporean workers must feel reassured that the government will help them to hold their own against competition from foreign workers or competition from abroad, and make sure that they are fairly treated compared to foreign workers. Otherwise, we will have a lot of angst and social tensions, even if we manage to get the economy going again. At the same time, we must convince Singaporeans that the best way to protect their livelihoods and their families is to keep Singapore open for talent and for business. If we just close ourselves up and send away the work pass holders, it will result in fewer jobs and opportunities for Singaporeans and more hardship for our workers and their families. So this is a very delicate balance to strike. But we have to address the issues. We have to do it. We have to get the right balance and the right mix of the touch as well as the clear-headedness. Because that's the only way we can bring our people through the crisis safely, body and soul. This is a major political task. It takes leadership. It takes courage. We must not falter. We must rally our people, give them hope. Times are tough for every country, but relative to other countries, Singapore has considerable strengths. Our workforce has a sterling reputation as the best workforce in the world, for which we have to give thanks to the workers themselves and also to the union and labor movement, who have helped to happen. Our society is cohesive, united in fighting COVID-19 and in striving for a better life. Our government works, it's efficient, and consistently delivers results for Singaporeans. And our politics is stable, with Singaporeans firmly backing the government they have elected. In Singapore, everything works, and everyone expects everything to work, because together we have made it work.